Hello, hello,
Hello
hello, and
and
welcome
to the Minimum
Effort
Effort Podcast.
Podcast. Yes. Um, of
I
course, you see
am the
these normal
actual real
mugs of
host.
Minkin.
I
Stop.
am the actual real host, Minkin, and then that's my secondary host, JJ. And today we have a very special guest, our first English guest. Because we've had Scott on, but he's British, but he's Scott, so it's different. Now we have our first English, also this year's English champion as well.
Yeah.
Yes, light heavyweight champion. We have Sonny,
Indeed, yeah.
Mr. Sonny Ringer Bell.
Yeah, I've been giving it so many through the years now. It's like started with like Sunny the Thighs Bell, and then it was like Sunny Ringer Bell, then just Sunny Sumo Bell. So there's just like a few now. I don't even know which one it is.
Are you just trying them out?
Apparently, I just get given them, and I'm like, oh, I'll rock with that for a little bit and go from there.
Sonny, where are you right now?
Well, currently I'm actually in Sapporo, up in the north of Japan, but obviously just came from Tokyo yesterday.
So what brought you to Japan?
Well, a bit of both, you know. So I originally was coming out for a bit of traveling, but then I sort of realized that I just kind of want to make it all about sumo. And so what ended up happening was I started contacting some amateur sumo clubs in Tokyo, some university clubs, and even some, like sumo bayers, just trying to get in contact and see about maybe even just trying to do like a little training sort of camp almost. So my first sort of like 3 weeks to 4 weeks in Tokyo was just pretty much just all about training sumo and getting into the grind the Japanese style way.
Where did you train?
Amazing. So I trained with an amateur club in Chiyoda, which is like just a Tokyo club, which are really good. I trained with another club in Saitama, and we trained with Tokyo University, which their club is called like Todai Sumo, and then trained with Minato Beya as well. Which one of our obviously good friends, Nicholas, who just kind of joined the ranks there from England as well, went.
Were you able to do sumo with them?
Yeah.
Nice. How was that?
Yeah, it was amazing.
Have you not seen their videos?
It was solid. It was solid. Definitely my hardest session by far. There is a massive jump. There is a massive jump when you go from like just even amateur level here to like a professional level. It's just such a huge jump. And even the wrestlers in that Bayer, they're not like, none of them are like paid or like, top 3 divisions. They're all pretty like still there, like kind of starting out. It's quite a young Bayer, to be honest. Like I think most of the guys there were in their 20s, and there was only like one guy who's in his 30s. So I think the Okata there is like kind of trying to start something new maybe, which is pretty cool. But those guys are still like units, like they were ginormous, and I was like, oh wow, okay, fair. Like this is the level. And you walk in, and it's like first thing on the agenda. Like Nicholas is like translating for me. And he's like, yeah, okay, so you've got to do 200 Shiko. I said, yeah, okay, no worries, fine. I was like, yeah, I can do that, of course, yeah. And like, obviously, I don't even know, like, I don't think my Shiko is even any good anyway. Like, it doesn't look as beautiful and lovely as Japanese style would. And so I'm just doing it. I'm like, oh mate, this sucks. Like, I just look like an absolute like idiot. But yeah, during that though, they are giving you like the pointers and how to move properly, and it's really great because obviously you're getting that first-hand, really hands-on experience to kind of learn the best way to do it. And even though I still can't do it exactly like they do it, like looking wise, I know what I need to do to try and get it to look like that, which is one part of it, which is really good.
I think that's the best way to learn sumo is from sumo, right? That's the way. And being bad at something really works with Japanese people, because if you try and you're bad, they will fix you. They will be like, all right,
this was JJ's tactic when we went in 2023 when we went to World Championships. He went to Takasago Beya because Konishiki helped us out, and then JJ was purposely having. I mean, we've never done Shiko properly, so it was a combination of both. But JJ was purposely doing really bad teppo. Teppo.
Oh, teppo. Yeah.
Teppo, and then he was like, and I was watching. I was like, what is JJ doing? And it was a tactic. One of the guys came over. He's like,
oh, yeah.
It took a lot. I was sweating. I was trying. I was trying to do it really bad, but with effort.
Yeah. So it was like, oh my god, this is so hard, but also, what am I doing?
Right? And I started seeing the Oyakata start like pointing and being like, pointing to his guys. It's like, all right, there it is, and just keep focusing on doing this really bad, and then I'm going to get hands on.
Hands-on experience, yeah. But it's true though; it's the best way, and like it's nice as well because being training at different clubs here, you get every single coach kind of will either tell you something a bit different along the same lines, but they have their own style of coaching. The two Tokyo clubs I was training at, the amateur ones, one of the coaches there was like a proper I think he's an absolute beast. Like he's an absolute he's like probably the same weight as me, but just like unit, like muscles, great build. I was like, what an absolute monster. His technique looks like beautiful. Like everything he does, I'm like, wow, this is amazing. Like I want to be like you. And he was a very much like forceful sort of presence whenever he was coaching as well. So like maybe a bit more on the stricter side. So especially when I first came on my first session there, we obviously did bouts and stuff like that, training with his guys. On the first couple bouts where I was like starting to like beat his his students, mate, he got so mad at his students. He literally like in the Japanese, like, what are you doing? Like, oh my god, what the fuck was that? Like, what are you doing that for? Like, and I don't speak fully Japanese, but I get the tone.
Yes.
And it was quite fun. But then after that, like obviously he was more like, oh no, this guy's not just like here for fun. He actually wants to train sumo because he's actually like wanting to get better as well. Like he's not like just like doing it on and off day. And so when I kept on coming back, he was like, oh yeah, no, it's perfect. This guy's actually here, which is good. And then we ended up having like a little bit of a little rivalry, which is fun. But I don't think there was any rivalry because he batters me in training every session. Like every single session, he batters me. But yeah, it's good.
That's a good kind of segue. I just thought about it, but so since everybody speaks Japanese, right, and you don't really speak Japanese, how does the communication work?
Honestly, pretty fine. I mean, so like it's weird. So like if they're talking like just in general, like just about like how their day was, I've got no chance because it's not orientated to something that I'm used to hearing because I'm just like I have no idea what we're talking about. If it's about sumo, so sometimes I'll go up to them and maybe just say like, well, I'll literally say like one word like tips or advice and like about like what I'm doing, just to be like that maybe they'll understand that. Like if it's just a quick one. Obviously I can use my phone for Google Translate whenever I need to. Well, usually ChatGPT is number one. So ChatGPT Translate. And,
ChatGPT, it's bad, man. It's bad. I had a letter.
Everyone's saying use Genie now. Everyone's saying use Genie for the translation.
I took one of our guys we got a letter from Kosei, who's just got up to the 3rd division. So he sent a letter and it translated to like he got injured and he was talking about like his injury. Somehow it turned it into food and how there's a prime cut of this meat that you should eat and come to this restaurant. I was like, what is happening here? Like I thought Kosei sent it to us and I was like, I don't think he knows who I am anymore. Like he's beyond me. I guess that's where we're at. But it was just ChatGPT went wild.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, so whenever I do use it, I'm pretty like I make sure. So like whenever I do like the double translation, I go, like translate from this to Japanese, type the English text, goes Japanese. I then say, right, now show me what that looks like if it was in English, and if it doesn't make sense, I don't show him it. Just to make sure, because I'm like, ChatGPT could fuck me here, then I look like an idiot. But either way, that's usually fine. But like I say, like I would go up, maybe say like advice or tip, like anything, like, and they kind of get what I'm asking. So then they start going into something like that. Now with sumo terms, it's kind of easier to understand because mainly it's just physically showing me like what I shouldn't be doing. Whether it's trying to get like, when you're inside and you're right, go get a deeper grip. If you're chest to chest, like kind of head, chins on their shoulder, make sure it's digging in and you're pulling in tight. All this like little things like that. But you can understand it because it's sumo orientated. Like you kind of, because you're both kind of thinking in that world, you understand it. There was a couple times where there was something like English-speaking Japanese. Like they were pretty good at English, to be fair. So sometimes it wasn't even an issue. But yeah, probably like the hardest one was obviously, it wasn't even that hard. But I went to, so literally 2-3 days ago, I actually went to a junior high school training session. So a lot, like more of a younger crowd, like by far. But the coach there was actually a Tamifuji senior in school as well, and like training together. And it was actually where Tamifuji also did training in junior high school. And it's like basically a Tamifuji town. Like everyone loves him there. Like he's the guy, he's the goat, and like it was really fun. So I got in contact with the junior high school club before I came out here, because they were saying it'd be amazing for the kids to see like kind of foreign sumo almost, like because they just they've never seen it before. It'd be quite funny in a good way. But then I obviously ended up training with them, had a really good session. Me and the coach had a few bouts, and there was this other kid who was probably about like 15, I think. He was like kind of 6th grade-ish, something like that. But they said like 15-ish. And he was like 120 kilos, and he was like the biggest kid there. But like he has no one else to fight apart from the coach. So it was quite nice because he was like, "Oh, fun! There's another big kid here." And like but they're all super shy. They're super shy. Like kids especially, they're like double shy.
Yeah.
And so like it took like a couple parents asking like, "Oh, is it okay if he wrestles you?" I said, "Absolutely, like have at me, like no issues at all." And then he obviously came over and was like, "Can we fight?" I was like, "Of course we can, love to, like sounds great." And it's just really fun experience for all. And then obviously we went out for dinner after, and it was amazing. But that was probably the hardest like translation time I ever had, because it's a pretty rural town. There's not much English spoken, like no one there spoke English apart from maybe one. But obviously during training, like zilch, no one was on the English at all, which was fine though. You just kind of I've got to just kind of push through more Japanese. I've got to try and get better at Japanese to reciprocate like how I can improve. But either way though, the communication was pretty easy when you kind of get into it.
Do you have formal training in Japanese?
Formal training in Japanese, as in like what language?
The language?
No.
He's like,
no. Mate,
so
the only way I learned Japanese in izakayas and bars. That's exactly how I learned Japanese. I can order a round of drinks. I can get you a beer. I can get me a beer. I can get a few, recommendations. That's all I know. I can make a few jokes.
Biru mitsu.
Yeah. Well, my absolute favorite is like namabiru dai, which is the big beer. That's my favorite to go for, because like I always saw the big beer, so it rolls off the tongue the minute I walk in anywhere. But that stuff like that. So my social Japanese is fairly good now versus like normal Japanese. Like I said to the guys, the amateur club, because we've got a tournament coming up in May 17th or 18th. And I said to them, after the tournament, we're going to go out for some namabiru. And they're like, yeah. I was like, yeah, great, after party, amazing. Like, let's get fucking smashed. It was great. But it's been so funny.
I want to bring it back to sumo.
How
it's I mean, we can get back to the pub talk. That's
keep on sumo. I love sumo.
What was the biggest difference from training in the UK to training in Japan?
I mean, it's literally like so different. I mean, it's like, when there's like so many things that just, or not like obviously the fundamentals are still there. You do your suriashi, you do your tsukari, you do your bouts. But I think the difference is these guys have been doing it way younger. Like I think when you've been taught from, that sort of age of like, 10 to 14 when you first start, then when you start doing it when you're an adult now, even though they're still amateurs, they know exactly what they're doing. Like their technique doesn't need as much help. And sometimes there's newer wrestlers that come in, but even somehow their technique's also perfect every time. I don't know how it works. But like, say for example, like obviously in the club in London, you might get a guy come along doing it a couple months, but like it's just like he's just so different, because you'll never be able to get to that same level unless you train even harder to try and meet it, and these guys train 3 times a week, 4 times a week. I mean, the coach I was with trains 5 days a week sumo, and I said I don't actually understand how you do that, because I don't think my recovery after each session could let me, unless like you get super used to it. But like, I mean, 5 days a week, I was like, mate, you're crazy for that, because I think the max I did when I was here was 4 in 1 week, and I genuinely like couldn't imagine doing sumo another day that week. Like I just couldn't imagine it, because it's so intense. And I think that's another thing that makes it different, is the intensity is crazy. After a session in Japan, I feel 5 times more fatigued than I would a session in the UK. And I don't know whether that's because like, oh, maybe you're just not trying hard in the UK, but I don't think it's the case. I think it's more about just the caliber of opponents you're going against are higher, especially like, so like, obviously I more so coach now, especially in London, because like it's more about like teaching guys how to wrestle and all this sort and how to actually use the right techniques at this point. With new clubs, you know, new locations getting bigger, it's amazing. But then you end up obviously not really being able to push yourself because there's not wrestlers around who can push you, which is one of the reasons why it's been great to be out here. Because, you know, I mean, I'm not an ego guy. I'm very, very humble when it comes to like, you know, who I can and couldn't beat. Like, I'm very much no. I always walk in, I go, me, you are. I'm weak on weak every time. Even though, because they see me, I'm a big guy, I'm a big lump, so they just go, wow, you look strong. I'm like, no, fucking well weak, mate, super weak. And then yeah, so I think with that, you know, having that resistance of just a much bigger / more technical opponent is crazy. I think it is that. I think it's just drilling in the hard intensity. Like sometimes in our training, we might start, say, maybe, I don't know, obviously America, don't know how you guys train yourself, it's very different club to club, but sometimes we'll do like suriashi, but we'll start by like slow suriashi, opening up sort of the body, kind of getting your kind of like basically just keeping everything open to be a bit more flexible, getting into it. Then as you get into it, your suriashi get better as you get deeper because you're just very tight when you start. But obviously with these guys, they're just like, cool, suriashi, get into it because they know you already have to do it. They go into it, bang, suriashi, get lower, be low. And then now, I mean, for the first time ever, I felt like I'm actually quick in suriashi. When I've been in the UK, I've never felt like I could actually move quickly because, like, you know, they do normal suriashi, then they do speed suriashi.
Yes,
it's very different to look at. And I still try and stay, because a lot of the time, you know, they almost go from squat to almost standing up and moving, which is like just a style of it, like how they do it. But sometimes, like, because I really need to think about staying low constantly, so I end up really like staying low while still trying to move as quick as I can, but still trying to stay almost as low as possible when moving, which I just think, you know, really adds on to the mental fatigue of keep training and keeping up with them, while also the physicality of it, which is also great.
What are the big carryovers that you think you're going to take away from this trip?
For me, immediately it will be like, oh, I'm gonna make sure the guys at the club like hurt when I get back. Like they need to train harder. They need to train harder because like this isn't even like half of it. Like when I did the session at Minatabea, I realized I was like, right, these guys don't need any technique help. They just wrestle and they go for it. Like so they had a clipboard for each wrestler, and they do 35 fights each. In one session, and then they do that obviously all whatever they do. For me, they said like, do you want to do like 20? I said, yeah, 20's fine. Like, you know, I said as many as you want, to be honest, because like, I'm just there. But it got filtered down to, it was the last 20. I was like, okay, I'll do 20. But you know, that is something that I think is a massive part of it, because you need to wrestle as much as you can really to gain the best experience. And they get pretty quick into it. You know, it literally just goes cool suriashi, cool butsukai, then it's like cool bout straight away, best of 3 every time, or it's like winner stays on, whatever it is. Like, you know, that's kind of the way it goes. And it's a good way to do it. I mean, and then you kind of have to watch from the outside. I mean, what I'm really taking in is noticing maybe what the coach says about someone else's bout, and thinking, okay, maybe I can use that when I'm kind of coaching, and like looking into how they're gripping the belt deeper, tighter, pull quick, don't pull slow, you know, keep your chin in there, push, you know, all these little things. But like, it's like they say the tiniest things that make a difference. That like everything, every tip I've been given, every advice I've got is like tiny. You wouldn't even think about it, but it's like classic, like, you know, Japanese style. Right? They're like, oh, move your pinky this much, and they're like, oh my god, I've changed my entire world.
Yeah.
Like my mind's blown. Like one of the guys that is at the amateur club, he actually went to the same like university as Wakataka Kage, and like was like one of his like juniors. And so he was like showing me he's really good. Like, you know, like one of like kind of like, you know, minus 85 kilos, something like that, but like, you know, just like technically like just a joke, like just silly boy, like crazy good. But he was just showing me about like with one thing that they really did like emphasize though is like, even though like, you know, your elbow's tight to your body and elbow's tight here, you can think that they're tight enough. They're fucking not. Like they it's like, and honestly, it's by far the number one thing you get caught out on every time through a bout, because losing that inside is like so detrimental to obviously anything you do. But like in the UK, I usually never have an issue finding an inside right and keeping it. I almost never kind of like have an issue with that. It's the first time ever I've ever been like having to fight for grips, you know, because they're tighter than tight, and then I'm like, okay, I need to be tighter than tight. but then you don't want to be too tight because then your pushing power actually eliminates. You need to be like in a good position, but still tight. And I'm like, this is great, because this is the little things you learn. Like the guy, what he said was, he said like, keep your arms really loose before you go down, like drop your shoulders, drop your arms, then like kind of at your elbow point, bring them up, and that's where your point should be, where you should keep your body. You know, that's where your arm should be. That's where your position should be for pushing. And he showed on me, like, you know, here I put my arm here, and he was like this. It's like, oh, good. And he said, go here, like bad, because I can slip under. You know, like it was kind of like these little like things he was just showing me on me that really transcended over. So definitely keeping tight will be a huge part of it. And yeah, just working hard on it.
Can you speak to the hardest day of your training?
It's hard because like Minotaur Bay was the hardest training session, but at the same time wasn't maybe like I think because I was expecting it, like, so I was kind of like ready for it to be that hard. One of the hardest sessions. No. What part of the training? No. Butskari, I love Butskari. I'm good at Butskari. I don't mind.
Oh, you're psycho.
No, mate.
If you watch a reel of him pushing Nicholas, it's really, Nicholas is like going hard on him. But also, did Nicholas volunteer, or did the Oyakata make him do it?
I can't remember, to be honest. I think it might have just been the Oyakata / like just
I think it's because he was like they're around the same level, so
yeah, exactly, yeah. That's but even when I do like because like even when I do like Butskari in the amateur club gym, they only do, by the way, like 5 rounds of Butskari and nothing in the amateur style. Like that's it. They just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and kind of done. Because again, they look at it like, you know, I kind of agree in a sense that, you know, anyone can push like that quite easily, but can you transcend that into your bout? So they teach you how to push, and then they go, right, do it in a bout, and you fight more instead, which I think goes, you know, in a similar way. But their resistance was a lot less, but they were focusing more on your body technique and how it was like positioned. So like every time you do it, don't get like ahead of yourself and think, oh great, because even at the very edge, like when they say the best way to keep technique is to do the technique when you're really tired, you know, because like when you're fresh, it's really easy to keep good technique, but when you're really tired, your technique gets sloppy. But you need to keep it really good when you're tired, so it transcends even more so when you're not tired, which is like 100% like bang on, which I said, which I thought was great. But one of the hardest things I did in training, which was actually at the university in Todai Sumo. So they started the session with 100 Chikos, and I was like, okay, fine. But they said, oh, but we do a 4-second tempo. So 4 seconds up and then down, and then again 4 seconds up for 100. That was the most grueling part of any session I've done, because that sort of just constant negative tempo. Like you do it in weightlifting all the time, you know, okay, 4 seconds down, explode up, 4 seconds down, explode up. But in like Shiko, because you're keeping the whole body is activated, you know, even your toes gripping the floor, like keeping it there while lifting your leg to a point, then coming down. It's so much more intense than just normal Shiko for sure. And I think I'd probably use that in training more. So maybe I'll make the guys do, I don't know, like 20, 50, however many Shiko. But instead I'll do the negative tempo, because it's so much more effective in actually concentrating on your body and how it moves. You're not just raising, dropping, you know, you're really concentrating on that movement. But it's a fucking killer for big guys as well, because, you know, having to hold that high and then come back down. Crazy, but great though. Like, but that was for sure one of the most grueling parts of my training, for sure. Like, out of any session, that was definitely one of the harder ones.
Mr. Minkin, go ahead.
No, I have nothing to say.
What is wrong with you?
I have nothing to say.
No, nothing related. I have things to say.
Go for it. Stop being weird.
What? I'm not being weird. I was just scratching. That's what I was doing.
He's got an itch for sumo now. He needs to do it. He needs to have a bout.
So, yeah, which I will. I'm going to Southampton end of
I know,
last
they
week.
said.
Yeah. And I've been talking about Japanese Sonny, you know. I was like, when Sonny gets back, he's going to be like, his knowledge base is going to be like, here, Japanese. I'm going to just call him Japanese Sonny.
Sonny Japanese sumo belt.
Sonny-san.
Sonny Sensei.
It's good, man. It's good. I mean, no. It's like, you know, it's like, I think I spoke to you, Menken, about it before, when I did a small amateur tournament here like 2 weeks ago, and it was basically after my first week here, They were like, "Oh, do you want to do a tournament? It's on Sunday." I said, "Yeah, right, fuck it. Like, obviously, why not? Like, it's gonna be really fun." And it was so nice. You know, it's about like 20 wrestlers, all very different sizes because it's all open weight, obviously. But one thing I did notice was though, a lot of the amateurs here aren't very big. Like, it's surprising that there's not like a massive side of it. I mean, maybe all the big ones kind of just went pro, but like that. But
I think that's kind of the case. Sometimes you see that in the amateur sumo, like the lightweight division is weird, where you're looking at the person, you're like, this person's not good. If they are good, they're generally a junior, but if they're an adult in the lightweight division,
well, they have to be in university. If they're university lightweight, then they're pretty
exactly.
Good,
even then.
Because there was one guy in the university. He was probably 65 kilos, I think. Yeah, really small, but university guy. But he was he's like the head coach there. He's been doing sumo at the university for 3 years. They train three times a week at the university. Easily one of the hardest 65 kilos I've ever felt in my entire life. Like,
he was everywhere, right?
Crazy strong.
Every time you hit him, he was still there.
He was there, like constantly there. And like one thing that Japanese sumo has kind of taught me a lot is I never used to push in sumo. Like my oshi was never. I never used to do it. I was mainly yotsu and stuff like that. Like, I never did like big thrusting. Doing the like Japanese one, mate, it's great. Like learning how to properly push is so much fun. I still don't do it as much, but like especially when like doing yotsu so much, your grip breaks. Like every session, which is probably like the two hardest things for my recovery by far, like after every session, was my grip and my forearms and my feet. That was the two of these is the most painful part of like recovery and training is my feet fucking kill and my forearms are exploding. Like sometimes after a session, I literally just like holding my phone to Google Translate, just like literally shaking like this. You can't do it. And that's only after like 10 bouts, you know, like it's not like a crazy amount, but because one of the guys there, right, one of the seniors there, he used to be number one in the Kansai like tournament. He was like champion Kansai. He weighed a lot more then as well. I think now he's only about 130, 140 kilos. But he used to be like up to like the 180 mark. He was a big boy when he got number one. And he's a really nice guy, but we're both yotsu sumo. So when we do bouts against each other, mate, it's killer. Like we're both like gripping so hard, and obviously he does usually beat me, but he's just one of those guys where it's great to learn from because he's a bigger guy. He knows what he's doing, knows what he's saying, and he can really help you with like a technique that's similar to his own. But he's so quick. He's just like it's crazy how quick the footwork is when he's there. But we're in the team tournament together next month, which will be April in May, which will be really fun. Being on his side and not against him. But yeah, it's a crazy way. Yeah, but the forearms go in like no time, and then the feet go like no time as well. But that little 65 kilo man though was an absolute animal, and he tried loads of different techniques. You can kind of see them because they were smaller, obviously. I loved watching his brain go like, okay, now different. Like every bout was never the same almost. Like he tried like 6 different things to try and get me or try and trip me up and stuff like this, which was really great to see because I think that's one thing with art, like, in the amateur scale, but in the UK or around, most of the guys wouldn't really think of it like that much. I feel like they just keep that idea of almost like, oh, I'll just hit and hope, which is like dumb when you're again. But it makes sense when you're first starting out. But when you're just sparring with someone and you're trying to learn new things and try to, break someone down, it's great to really go, cool, I did this, now I'm going to do this now. Or, oh, I did that, now I'm going to do this now. Completely change it. It's great. One of the guys, he said to me about like, it'd be really fun if you just try and practice where you want to actually be at your start point. Because sometimes your feet are a little bit further behind the line, sometimes they're really close to the line. You want to just, you should play with it, like see what feels best, see what you find really helps you more. And that was, again, a little thing. He just said, move your feet around, see if you like anything you like, and go from there. Because it is about personal preference, but it also makes sense that if you just always get down in one position, how do you know that's your preferred position when you haven't tried the others? and there's other
That's
positions
fair.
against other you know, if you're a smaller guy against a bigger guy, you probably might want a little bit more distance, so you can kind of have a bit more time to move around him and kind of trip him up or throw him around if you're like much smaller. So, you know, going further back works for that. But then, for example, like me, if I'm against like a really strong Oshi sort of style sumo, like pushing, I want to close the distance as much as possible to try and get the belt. So I almost want to get in there, get underneath straight away and try and grab hold, because I don't want him underneath me to just drive me out, which is like, you know, one of the, well, my weakest point is against bloody Oshi pushers. They're absolutely kryptonite, mate.
And you're in a division full of it.
I know. I don't know. Like there is plenty. But I just think, you know, I just really need to, because one of the things I wanted to do when I was coming over here was really improve my tachi. I really wanted to get better at my tachi, because I just feel like in the UK every tachi looks so slow. It's literally
it's the West across the board. There's a few people that naturally have it, right? And generally it might come from like a football background or just whatever's in their brain, it snaps. But most people, like closer to 90%, don't have a real tachi eye. That's just you know, like true. They're so slow off the line. They're just trying to engage and then go where they're not actually hitting, you know.
That's one thing they said to me about here, was like it should be one motion. You know, there shouldn't be a, oh, now you're up, then you hit. Then it's just like bang, then go. Like there's no like stop start. It's not like, you know, you take a step, you're at your hands in contact. It's like just you have to all at once go. You know, like it's leg, hands, feet, head, bang. Then it's push. Like everything comes at one go, which is amazing. Like that was first day. First thing he said was like, when you're moving, just make sure it's all one motion, quick as you can, sort of going forward. I said, hi. I was like, yes, sensei. And then just kind of carried on from there. And I think, you know, it's slowly gotten a bit better, probably like, you know, a little bit, not massive. You know, I'm not talking, you know, like Usain Bolt off the start block sort of speed, but like, you know, I think it's come a little bit further along now. I'd like to think anyway. But that's just one of those ones where I really wanted to try and get better at that for sure. And you know, this time as well, they've been teaching me a lot about, you know, what belt grip do I prefer for Yotsu. Speaking about it, they realised probably your right hand inside what you prefer, really far around the back. Left hand, you want to kind of keep it anywhere. But one thing they also said was like don't ever go for a deep outside.
Mm-hmm.
Like they said, like, because especially for me, because like so it's very natural because you kind of see the belt. If you're, say it's a person underneath you, to just reach over them and grab it. Right, it's one thing, right? You can
over
do
the
that.
Shoulders.
Yeah, but it's no point. It's literally no point. So
they're just gonna cover the space.
Yeah, they can just move you with it. It's so simple. Like you've just given them the way in. Like super simple. So after they just said like, oh yeah, like just forget about that. Like whatever you do, just don't do that. Just get low. Try and get your hands in. If you can't get a hand in, push it out. Grab there. Try and break a grip. You know, just do anything, but don't do that, because for you're already quite high, being taller. So them getting under you is that like you just don't want it at all. So giving them that sometimes, like don't get me wrong, sometimes I'll pull off like, you know, some sort of like not suicide throw, you know, like, you know, a little reversal at the end, which does work. But it's like it's not like consistent. Obviously, it's not like I'm like training to do that.
It's pocket sand. You're never you don't rely on pocket sand, but when you got it,
but yeah, no, for sure.
There's two Sonnies now. There's the Sonny before and there's the Sonny after. So we got the Sonny of the UK and then what Lincoln's calling is Japanese Sonny. I would like to hear from those two Sonnies. What does good sumo look like?
Okay, so Sonny before Japan.
Sonny before Japan. Yeah. And then I want to hear Sonny after.
Sonny before Japan would probably say good sumo. I think good sumo looks like you're almost doing it with full on, like, you know, explosion power, super low, and smashing through someone. Just being able to clear someone out. That's what I would before think is good sumo. Being able to keep your hips really low, exploding out the blocks, getting great contact, and moving them out the ring with slight ease, you know. That's what I probably would say looks like, you know, in a bout format, looks like good sumo. Okay. And then post Japan sumo, and I mean like absolutely juxtaposition the other thing, it's being able to win looking like effortlessly. That's like 100% way better. Like being able to just hold someone, not a bit of strain on your face, and just kind of like, almost, like let them go down or just push them out with no issue at all. Like I've noticed feels so much better than just like clearing someone out. Like being able
you're frantic, you're like
mate, never feel it. Like being able to just hold someone, take your time, and really like slow it down makes it so much better sumo. Like it's so much cooler as well. Like I mean, watching it, like or even doing it, like same thing when you're being able to like just kind of have a time. Like I've never fought as well. By the way, I've never fought mentally as much as I have in bouts than I have in Japan. Like other bouts, it's kind of more like I'm reacting to an action more than making an action to a reaction. Whereas now it's like, now I'm thinking ahead before versus like before I was thinking after something's already happened. Like the mentality is completely switched because of that. Like because
that's a really good sign,
mate. It's great. It's crazy though. Like because like I don't think about it until like I'm in it, and I'm like, because like before UK sumo, a lot more like, okay, I'm gonna hit them, I'm gonna push them out, easy. Like that's kind of the only mindset you have. Like I think I got really like in my final of the English Championships, this guy, he's such a little monster. If he did sumo like a lot more, he could be like really good. But he's like, just an absolute monster. He tried like 3 throws on me like within like 5 seconds. I was like, Jesus Christ! I was like really on my toes, like moving around, and that was great. But again, it was more like I was staying calm in it, waiting for it, knowing when it's going to come, the reaction to it. But again, it was more like I knew it was going to do something, so I was waiting for it instead of preempting it to then go around into something else. Whereas now it's like, oh, I know he's going to try and do this, so I'm going to do this instead, and I'm going to try and do this instead, and do this and this and that. And then it becomes both of you are like mentally going for it, while obviously physically moving around as well. Like it's such a great like feeling to have that, because like I've never done any martial arts before sumo, like at all. Like never done any wrestling, never done any like even boxing, judo, nothing before. So this is like my first time learning actually like how to use martial arts in like a ring, which is great.
So sort of, because you come from a rugby background. I do have to say that
you played rugby, Sonny. I thought you did rowing.
Right?
I did rugby and rowing.
Rugby and rowing. Yes.
But rugby, I say the same thing. It's just like I'm just hitting cunts. Like that.
I have a confession. We had a Y sumo with you, and somehow it's the only data that we ever lost. So it's completely gone. I don't know where. We looked for it everywhere. We looked on like 4 different phones. But in that, you talked about how rugby brought you to sumo, and it was a rugby rowing kind of situation that brought you to sumo. Is there anything from rugby that you think you still use in sumo post Japan?
No.
Yeah.
Literally nothing. Like, because I mean, from the beginning, probably like very beginning, definitely kind of came into it a bit more because just your previous instincts of like, oh, I know how to tackle someone, I know how to hit someone. But my main real transition from rugby rowing to sumo was more about I just had big strong legs. Like that was kind of it. Like rugby gave me a great foundation for strength and pushing and all that lot. Rowing then gave me amazing fitness while keeping up my strength in my lower leg department and kind of upper body. But I lost a lot of weight during it, which is great for me health wise. Then when I did sumo, it was like, great, I've got these huge fucking legs and I might as well do something that uses lower body. Sumo, great for it. And then kind of went from there. But the same thing now though, like I would never think about rugby when doing it, like ever.
Nice.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I have a question / statement / a bunch of stuff. Sonny, I know you embraced the traditional mawashi wearing in Japan.
Hell yeah.
I've seen your butts out. You've never done that before. Yeah, you've never done that before in the UK, right? What does it feel like? Like, do you feel any different?
What? I mean, it feels fine. I mean, it's weird when you feel that your arsehole is out when you have to retire. That's probably like the weirdest part about it. But like apart from that, like there's kind of nothing I think makes a difference.
Why weren't you doing it in Japan? I mean, in the UK, why weren't you doing it? Was that just because
European style, mate? We wear the shorts, don't we? it's the westernized
it's not
style.
just Europe; it's also most of
the whole
America,
West,
except for the cosplayers.
Because
yeah.
In the UK, nobody goes traditional. Literally,
no one goes traditional in the UK. No.
When I was at the 2025 British Championship, I was the only one. I was like, even in the US, it would probably be now about 50-50. But when I went there, nobody was going traditional. I was like, this is just, why am I the odd one out?
Yeah. Why am I the weirdo naked in this ring?
So
I mean, that's the thing, because I don't mind it. I've made it so that I think now I strip down to the sumo style, Japanese style, when I'm like maybe in like a real sort of, whether it's a tournament or in a more like proper setting when it comes to like a beya. Like I wouldn't wear my shorts in a sumo beya. That just feels weird. But I'd get down to the brass tacks a bit after that. And then same with comps, like competitions, even in Japan, you can wear stuff underneath you if you choose to, because amateur, same thing. But like, it's way more like 90 to 10%, like, way more people are wearing nothing versus something. Yeah. But I would wear it for like, I'd go kit off for like competitions, stuff like that, which I think is good.
So moving forward, do you think that
taking my thunder?
I know. So moving forward, do you think that you're going to go traditional in competitions?
That was mine.
No, not in Europe.
In Europe,
no.
How about at Baku?
Baku could go naked. I think. If Menken's there, I'll give him a secret show. Just
I won't be there, but when I'm
there,
you should do it.
I definitely will. For the world, I will. I think because it's like, again, it's one of those ones where it's a bit more respectable, and not to mention like a lot more countries are doing it. Whereas I don't know if it's still a thing, but I know like 2 years ago they made this thing about at the Euros you're not allowed to go naked anymore.
Really?
Well, there was something about it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's not gone ahead because I think countries like Ukraine and like Poland and Georgia, they kind of like protested it, which I think is fair enough. But I also don't know because my thing it goes both ways. I think you can wear whatever you want because realistically, I don't think having shorts on or not having shorts on makes a massive difference. To be fair, like I don't think it's a massive huge massive difference. I don't think there is because I think you perform almost the same. I think it's more what you're comfortable in. But I'm kind of happy in both. I don't mind.
Okay, that's a good answer.
I think where it sometimes the Mawashi moves more. With shorts.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, definitely. 100%.
Yep, so that's the one thing where I think sometimes people get trapped in the mindset of, I can't go traditional because my Mawashi is going to move around. If it's tied properly, it is as secure as just wearing shorts. It's very secure.
I think it does. With shorts on, definitely moves around more. But it's just because there's more. You haven't got anything holding it together. You're just like it's just almost like loose fabric kind of against you. But yeah, without shorts on, you're so fine. Yeah, you never see anything.
Do you think the UK will be in a space maybe in like 2-3 years that some people will be going traditional?
Just you,
or you think it's just
maybe Big Nathan because he did it on TV, so I'm sure he could do it again for a sumo band. So, I mean, he's got his cheeks out on on British TV, so he can definitely do it if he fancied it.
I think one of the barriers of entry is if you're feeling good about your sumo, I think you will go out traditional. Like that's for me, that was I only compete traditional, and I did it at World Games, and then from the World Games on, anytime I compete, I go traditional, and it's just like setting myself up for success. But on the tail end of that, if you lose, you are losing basically naked in front of a bunch of people, ass out.
Yeah. I mean, listen, if you've got a nice enough ass, maybe you can get away with it. I think that's kind of the way you have to look at it. But yeah, I think it's one of those things. Again, I just think it's completely on personal preference. I mean, I definitely will encourage it a bit more now. And another thing that's nice is that now I've realised. Oh, great. I don't maybe say, for example, I forget my shorts one day. I'm like, doesn't matter. I can just go naked. It literally makes no difference whether I do or don't. Like, I'll just go free today. So it's quite nice. And it saves you a bit of money if you don't want to buy the equipment for the shorts. You can just buy the belt and then you're literally done. That's it. Belt on it. That's it. That's the belt though. Is huge difference over here though. They're so much better over here.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I want one. They're just so much harder and like properly done. Like it's so annoying when I bring over my puny European belt. And
well, you should go when you're back in Tokyo. You should go to Sanpuku, is where everybody gets their belt.
Yeah. No, 100%. I am. I'm going to see how many, because a lot of the guys from back home also kind of might want one, and I'll have to bring it home with their.
I was going to ask for one, but I don't have the money right now. So.
Oh yeah, fair. Yeah. Because I really want one. Like, I need to have one from a Japanese. I'd love to get one in my locker. But yeah, I mean, they're just so much better. They really are. Like the difference in like material is huge, and then the actual like feel of it, how much more solid. They move like even less. Like they never move almost. The proper ones. Like my one move, I have to get mine retied like 3 times in a session, whereas like they're maybe once.
Yeah,
depending on like how intense like the gripping is, but always like a minimum 3 times.
What, Minkin, do you want to do your prediction of Worlds, since he is a Worlds athlete?
Is this a World athlete thing?
Yes, he is a Worlds athlete.
I guess that means this is the end of the episode.
I mean, it can be.
I always do it at the end.
It's okay. It's all right. We've been going for like 45 minutes. It's all right, man.
Okay.
It's all right.
Sonny, I ask this any World team prospect or member. Yeah. I always ask, what is your goal for World Championship?
For World.
Yeah.
My goal is honestly just to get a win. That's 100% my goal. Never got a win at Worlds. It would be amazing to get one. So that's my goal. That's literally it. It might not be a massive one, but it's definitely.
Hey, that's a big one, and because last year we had 1 win total.
Yeah, for the team. Yeah.
And I think anything above that is a step in the right direction, right?
Huge,
for everybody. Right. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We get 2, 3, 4, and then eventually, everybody gets to the second round, third round. Then
Yeah, it'd be so much fun.
You take it match by match. I think that this is a great spot. I'm going to give you a 1 shot. You can say anything you want. You can plug something, tell people where to do sumo, and at the end, give me you can point to that to your sponsor right there, and we can call it an end. So just remember to give me a visual so I don't cut you off. All right.
Short visual goodbye, or just
like a thumbs up,
like a thumbs up,
or to finish it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the movement to finish. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no worries.
All right.
No worries.
Here you go,
guys. Been amazing. I've got to say, come and do sumo in Japan. It's so much fun. You'll learn so much more. Thank you so much, Rep Primo, bringing me out here. Have a great one.
Once I get my hands on you, it's over. You better be ready.